I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling with this new XCell. The cover seems to dig in too quick, and the cord just seems to want to roll forward for me. I put a white piece of tape near my PAP so you can see how it flares. I didn't have a Pro Sect on me and the Pro Shop was closed at the time, but at least there's something there so you can read the ball motion. Anyway, I was excited to get the XCell because back when I was a youth bowler, I had the original cell, a rogue cell, and a cell pearl. Not the most diverse arsenal ever, but it was enough for me at the time. The cell core has been one of the more interesting pieces to me. I even went back and watched their seminar from 16 years ago. In part 2, they talked about how the core maintains its differential as the axis migrates, and on top of that, they maintain the shape of the core with standard drilling options. So this is where I think I broke the intent of the ball. I wanted to pick a layout that would max out the characteristics of the ball, smooth, round, continuous. So I picked the smoother motion layout, 20 by 4.5 by 40. This layout actually took more mass out than I expected, and the layout's certainly working against me here. The ball wants to rev up too soon and transition too quickly, and eventually rolls forward on the lane. Like right here where it revs up in the mids and plaques a 10. Or here where I get good entry angle, and then it deflects off like a potato. And for whatever reason, this cover seems to dig in deeper every time I move left and get it in the oil. And when I get it too far right, it just straight up burns. So it basically forced me into this zone where I had to move left, keep it in the oil, and play a fallback shot. And this type of line is something I would expect to play like 12 games into a tournament, not 4 games into a house shot. I don't mind keeping this ball around to practice with because it exposes my weaknesses. Mark Baker said I set the ball down too early, which can totally lead to the ball picking up too soon and rolling out. But anyway, to tune the reaction to make it more playable, the next thing I can mess with is surface. So since I tried this layout on the conspiracy scheme, and that seemed to shape well, I decided to copy that box finish and put 500 compound on it. I don't know how much it really matters, but my compound of choice is Motive Power Gel Shine, but I'm open to trying other products, so let me know what you use. Here on lane 30, I'm throwing it with a compound on it, and my execution certainly isn't the best here. I'm jumping around looking for an angle that I can trust. But so far with the compound on it, it seems to have those same characteristics. It burns if I get it to the right, and it hooks in the oil if I get it to the left. I don't really care to change anyone's opinions around layouts, but I'm just saying that this is working against me here. This layout crosses the pin to spin line very early in the path of migration, so the core's energy is being used up in the mids, which would be better on a high volume sport pattern. And I had a chance to throw it out of the box during my sport league. I threw it on PBA Bear, and it was decent game 1 and 2, but it still wasn't the most playable option for me. My pin down Widow 3.0 shaped better and was more continuous. Anyway, to make it more playable on the house shot, I followed Motive's Surface Guide. So I went with their highest grit. 500, 1000, 2000, 4000 twice, and then polish. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like a damn mirror. Okay, here goes my first shot with a solar flare cell. And the ball actually gets further down the lane without the core starting to turn. I pitch it to the right, and it arcs off the spot. So I make the adjustment, and that looks pretty good. This shot I get it to the right, and it seems to shape the taper at the end of the lane pretty well. This shot doesn't drive through the pocket very well, so I make the adjustment on the next shot. Second arrow was much more playable with this surface. So next, I jump left and I play third arrow. And surprisingly, that one almost came back up. So I keep it closer to the head pin. And then I make the adjustment. And this one skids a little bit further than I wanted it to go. And it hangs if I get too far to the right. So I give it a few more shots. And since this one didn't come back, I decided to hit it with some surface. I used a 2000 pad to break some of that shine off. I didn't expect to tune the surface so much with this bowling ball. This layout certainly got it to cross the pin to spin line too soon, causing it to roll out. So polish was my only option to get it down the lane. So overall, I'm not going to use this bowling ball very much, and I don't mind drilling up a dud for my own experience, and for the YouTube content. I don't think you'll see a lot of people use this layout. It kind of flares weird. Notice the white piece of tape stay on the left side of the ball the entire way down the lane.